Tashidilik, this is Tibet TV's weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and the Central Tibetan Administration. Today's headlines. His Holiness the Dalai Lama encourages Buddha's followers to become 21st century Buddhists. Detained Tibetan riders reportedly face health crisis in Chinese custody. European Parliament condemns China's so-called ethnic unity law, adopts resolution. Office of Tibet DC attends annual roll call of nations wreath-laying ceremony by victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. Representative Chukki meets with Nicolas Walder. Tibetan spiritual festival takes place in Tokyo. Tibetans celebrate Calligraphy Day. His Holiness the Dalai Lama addressed a message to the devotees and followers on the auspicious occasion of 𝑻𝒊𝒃𝒆𝒕 𝑻𝒉𝒊𝒔, attending his greetings and prayers to the global Buddhist community on the occasion commemorating the birth, enlightenment, and parinirvana of Buddha Shakyamuni. His Holiness sent a reminder in his message on Buddha Shakyamuni's profound insight into dependent arising and Buddha's call to harm no one and help all beings that remain the most compassionate and practical guide for living in our troubled times. His Holiness the Dalai Lama encouraged the followers of the Buddha to be 21st century Buddhists, to discover what teachings truly mean and to put them into practice. According to reports, two Tibetan riders, 𝒉𝒊𝒃𝒆𝒕 and 𝒉 are under critical health conditions due to inadequate medical care and negligence under Chinese custody. 𝒉𝒊𝒃𝒆𝒕, known for his literary work, is allegedly experiencing memory impairment, loss of eyesight, heart and kidney failure. 𝒉, who is believed to have endured severe beatings and mistreatment during her detention, is suffering from cognitive decline and complications related to heart. 𝒉𝒊𝒃𝒆𝒕 is a prominent writer who was initially arrested in the year 2013 after the Chinese authorities accused him of inciting separatism. He was released in 2016 but was arrested shortly after for another 17 days for carrying His Holiness the Dalai Lama's portrait. On March 23, 2021, he was arrested again, and in the year 2022, he was sentenced for 14 years on charges of inciting separatism and endangering state security. Authorities have reportedly cited his writings and publications as grounds for his repeated arrests. His works, including Calls from Afar, The Pain of the Times, Tears of Today, Colors of the Years, The White Scarf, and The Red Blood of 2008, explore themes of Tibetan identity and the socio-political realities faced by Tibetans. 𝒉 was arrested numerous times on the grounds of showing dissent towards the government following her reported participation in the year 2008 uprising alongside her father. She was arrested again in the year 2021. Following the same pattern of harsh treatment and neglected medical care in Chinese custody, 𝒉 has reportedly underwent severe physical abuse and allegedly had her hip and legs broken. Her health has subsequently deteriorated with poor eyesight and enduring both physical and mental torture. The European Parliament on 30th April strongly condemned People's Republic of China's so-called ethnic unity law through adoption of a resolution marking a significant escalation in international opposition to Beijing's policies of forced assimilation. The European lawmakers warned that the so-called China's law, which is set to take effect on 1st of July 2026, represents a systemic attempt to erase the cultural, religious, and linguistic heritage of the Tibetan people by mandating state ideology and prioritizing Mandarin over native languages in all public spheres. Central to the resolution that was adopted by a large majority is a firm rejection of Beijing's interference in Tibetan spiritual affairs. The parliament explicitly states that the succession of the Dalai Lama is a strictly religious matter that must be determined exclusively according to Tibetan Buddhist traditions, free from government coercion. Furthermore, the resolution calls for the immediate and unconditional release of political prisoners, including the 11th Panchen Lama Gyendun Chökyi Nyima, as well as Choktrul Dorje Ten Rinpoche and Palden Yishe, whose detentions remain a point of grave international concern. The resolution calls for the activation of the EU global human rights sanctions regime against the officials responsible for drafting and implementing repressive policies in Tibet. In her post-debate intervention, Commissioner 𝑻𝒊𝒃𝒆𝒕 voiced European Union's grave concern over the human rights situation in Tibet and reaffirmed the European Union's unwavering commitment to Tibetan religious freedom. Rinzin Genkang, representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama at the Office of Tibet in Brussels, expressed gratitude to the European Parliament for this strong and timely response. Last Saturday, Chinese liaison officer 𝒉 Gyatso from the Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C., took part in the 19th roll call of Nations wreath-laying ceremony organized by the victims of Communism Memorial Foundation. The event brought together representatives from 17 government offices, including the European Union's office in the United States and the government of Taiwan. They were joined by 14 non-governmental organizations, all participating in the wreath-laying ceremony to express solidarity with the victims of communism. Among the speakers at the gathering were event organizer Eric Patterson, former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom Sam Brownback, and U.S. Congressman Joe Wilson. Representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama Office of Tibet Geneva Thinlay Chukki and UN Advocacy Officer 𝒉𝒆𝒃 𝒊𝒔 held a courtesy meeting with Honorable Nicolas Walder, State Councillor of the Department of the Territory of the Canton of Geneva. Nicolas Walder is widely recognized for his steadfast commitment to human rights advocacy. Representative Thinlay Chukki also attended prayer ceremonies and burial of the former German Minister Schwarzschilling and conveyed official messages of condolence on behalf of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Central Tibetan Administration. Professor Dr. Christian Schwarzschilling, former German federal minister and founder of the Schwarzschilling Foundation, passed away on April 2, 2026 in Frankfurt at the age of 95. Beyond his national contributions, he was also a steadfast and long-standing friend of Tibetan people, consistently advocating for justice, dialogue, and peaceful resolution. The Tibet House Japan and the Safe Tibet Network jointly organized a two-day Tibetan spiritual festival last weekend at Chukki Hongwaji Temple in Tokyo. The festival featured a photo exhibition on His Holiness the Dalai Lama, talks and presentations by scholars and professors on subjects related to Tibet-Japan relations, Buddhism, and teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tibetan cultural dances, food, and information brochures. Documentary films under Compassion Revolution series produced by Tibettv were shown to the audience. Tibettv's in-house documentary films, made in honor of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's 90th birthday celebration and to mark the Year of Compassion, were screened in Dharamshala last weekend. Over 300 people attended the film screening evening. 30th April marks the International Tibetan Calligraphy Day, and the Tibet Museum of the Central Tibetan Administration, in collaboration with Pelpung Sherapling Monastery, organized an exhibition of canonical calligraphy works and a calligraphy workshop. The selection of this date carries symbolic significance. The Tibetan script consists of 4 vowels and 30 consonants. Accordingly, 30th April, the 4th month, and the 30th day was chosen to represent these fundamental elements. Venerable Karma Wangdak of Pelpung Sherapling Monastery, director of the monastery's literature department, spoke on the history and evolution of Tibetan writing system originally devised by Thumi Sambodha in the 7th century and its later development during the period known as the later flourishing of the teachings following Tibet's era of fragmentation. Jo de Berdemaker, an independent Belgian typeface designer and researcher, presented an overview of the history and evolution of Tibetan typewriters and typeface design, tracing developments from the early 18th century in Western context to the modern digital fonts and design systems used today. That is all for today's Tibet This Week edition. We will see you next week. Thank you.